Hello everyone, welcome to another Minecraft video. So today, I had an interesting thought. So, the other day, I was playing Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition, and recently, it just got the new updates for the Village and Pillage. It got them a few days after Minecraft 1.14 was launched on PC, I believe. Currently, the current state of MCPS4, I'm not very happy with. There's a lot of problems there. But anyway, regardless of that, this kind of goes for every version of the game. This is my thoughts and input on the whole AFK Fish Farm situation. For those of you who don't know, an AFK Fish Farm exploits Minecraft's fishing mechanics. In Minecraft, when you normally fish, you have to watch out for your bobber. You can't just spam right click. You have to throw your lure out, watch the bobber, and throw it back. Is the idea. So when you throw it back, if you throw it back at the right time, you can get a fish. And on top of getting fish, you can get a majority of other items. If you're really, really lucky, or if you have really good enchants on your fishing rod, you can get items such as books, fishing rods, and enchanted fishing rods and bows. So that's all very nice and dandy, except it's incredibly easy to exploit. Like a system like this uses the principle of only having to hold right click down as you're facing this note block, and for some reason this little mechanic right here, which I'm not fully familiar with, but it stops your fishing rod from being pulled back in. And the idea of this is if I hold this long enough, when a fish eventually does come to the lure, it will pull it in, and that goes for anything that comes to the lure. And there are very good enchants for fishing rods, especially things such as Luck of the Sea 3, which increases your chances of pulling in enchanted items, books, and other such high-level items that can be acquired from fishing. The only problem with this entire setup is that at one point, AFK Fish Farms were slightly more difficult to attain. Now, not necessarily in that, well, maybe I should say maintain would be a better word, because fishing rods didn't used to have mending. Before the mending enchant, fishing rods had a limit. You could put Unbreaking 3 on a fishing rod, but that was as far as you could go. And that meant that you would get a few good hours of AFK fishing, and that was all you got. And there was practically nothing you could do. If you ran it overnight, it was destined to break at some point. However, recently, in the last few updates to Minecraft, mending has been put on fishing rods, and well, when mending was added, it was automatically available for fishing rods. And the problem with this is now you can fish forever with the same rod because you gain XP from fishing. And for AFK Fish Farms, this pretty much means that your rod never is going to break. Like, there's zero chance of it breaking, and it's practically always going to be pegged at max, which means when you're exploiting things, you're still getting a lot of XP, and your fishing rod is staying at maximum and is taking up only a slight amount of XP to keep it maximum. So what it ends up meaning is you're getting a lot of levels, a lot of really high-level items, and with the update that was just added for Village and Pillage, there was a couple of new blocks added, and the one that caught my eye was the Grindstone. Now, the Grindstone allows you to repair items, which you used to be able to do in a crafting table, and in the newest update you actually can still do it in a crafting table, but its bigger part was disenchanting an item. You can take an item with an enchant on it and disenchant it, and that is great. It also works for books too, which means maybe if you're using an enchanting table and you get a book that you're not happy with, you can put it in here and gain a few levels back on top of getting your book back. It's a nice little gift to longtime Minecraft players who have had to deal with losing books to bad enchants and just having to throw them away. You know, that was never something that we wanted. And if you get you enchant something, you enchant your pickaxe and you get you don't get the right enchants that you wanted, you can disenchant it, get some of your levels back, and try again. It's a very nice little thing. It never breaks. So it's a nice little thing. Here's the only problem, okay? For legitimate Minecraft fishers, who I know zero of, by the way, most people that I know, including myself, have used AFK Fish Farms for the majority of their fishing-related activities. The problem is it's very not only easily exploitable now more than ever, because every single enchant in the entire game has a chance of dropping from an AFK Fish Farm, especially with higher level enchants like Luck of the Sea and Lore. Now, the problem with this is every time a new enchant is added, it gets put into the fishing roster, which is great and all for people who legitimately fish, but for AFK fishers, it's just it's another tool to use. It's another tool to exploit. And, you know, it sounds okay in retrospect, but the problem is it ends up kind of wrecking the game for the most part, because high-level books, especially things like mending that normally are incredibly hard to attain, are just plastered right in front of you by this little machine. You run it overnight, and your chances of having incredibly good high-level enchants the next day and, you know, enchanted equipment are very good. Enchanted fishing rods and bows are the only type of enchanted equipment that like to drop, and some of them have curses and things on them, but you're not really in it for the equipment until now, because before these enchanted pieces of equipment, if you already had an enchanted fishing rod with mending on it, you never had to worry about these. Bows were kind of a different story, but at the same time, if you had a really good bow, you didn't really have to worry about this. But the problem now is, now that we have a grindstone, this is super easy to exploit. All right, you already got a bunch of levels from using an AFK Fish Farm, okay? That was to be expected. You get a little XP every time you collect an item. They build up quick, especially if you're AFK fishing for multiple days at a time. But now you can take those items that you normally would have just thrown away or put in storage somewhere, and you can now take these and plop them on the grindstone. This also, like I said before, includes books too. So you take some books you don't like, and not only are you getting books back that you didn't technically make, you're also getting blank equipment back that you can use for other purposes, or that you can use to just throw away, or for your furnaces, or whatever you people use leftover equipment for. But getting books back is a huge thing, and getting XP back is an even bigger thing. If you're running an AFK Fish Farm for several days, you're already going to be a high level, but the ability to then take extra equipment and add more levels to the roster is just insane. Okay, this whole thing is massively exploitable, and it gets more exploitable every single update, and I'm not sure what Mojang's plans are to fix this problem, but at the same time, any nerf that's done to an AFK Fish Farm is directly hurting those who are legitimately fishing in Minecraft for items, which, like I said, I don't particularly know any of, but I'm sure there are some of you out there who appreciate, you know, the actual fishing system and do it legitimately, and that's great. And I love to see the amount of items you get, and I love to see that you're willing to spend the time to do such a thing. You know, something that requires a lot of patience that I probably would not be patient enough to do. But the problem is AFK fishing in its easy exploitation has kind of destroyed that, and any nerf that's done to it is indirectly nerfing the actual legitimate player's ability to enjoy fishing as a mechanic, and that's a sad thing, because I feel as though the only real nerf that could be done would be to try to you know, stop this particular system in general, stop the ability for the bobber to get stopped on anything. But that's a difficult thing to implement, and even if they did implement that, there are people who are constantly searching for new ways to exploit the game, and I'm sure somebody would find a new way to do this. The only thing that Mojang could truly do would be to really start dishing out patches to try to stop this exploit. But for right now, in its current state, and I'm sure for a long while, this exploit is very easy to perform. You just need a little machine. There are tons of different variations of it. A little machine, a hopper, some chests. You know, the chest storage for, you know, infinite expandability and all that. What it ends up meaning is that it's very easy to exploit. It gets very high-level enchantments. It gives you things that you shouldn't realistically attain for a long time that can be attained early in the game simply by building this contraption here and, you know, fishing overnight or something for a little bit. And it's sad to see that something is so easily exploitable that hasn't been, you know, patched out yet. And yes, I'm guilty of using these machines too. I use these a lot, to be quite honest, but that doesn't mean that my, you know, enjoyment of the game has necessarily been affected by it. But what it does mean is that I would appreciate if the developers would try some tactic in order to, make an attempt at patching this, especially because for every new enchant added to the fishing roster and for every new item, underwater related items in the aquatic update, it just gets more and more exploitable every single update. And I would appreciate if the developers would try something to better this exploit and maybe maybe change the fishing mechanics slightly in order to make exploiting it more difficult in some way, or maybe if nerfing what is gained by fishing is really what has to be done, then that's what has to be done. But for right now, this is insanely easy to exploit. And like I said, I'm guilty of using them too. I made a tutorial on my channel a few months ago about how to build one of these. It's a very simple contraption. It's not difficult at all. It's very widely used in the Minecraft community, and I like the idea of it. It's very good for some players, but at the same time, I feel like it's very, it's too easy to exploit, and some changes need to be made to how it works. And the Grindstone is simply enhancing your ability to exploit the machine. So sorry, I can't speak at the moment. That was just my thoughts on the whole AFK Fish Farm Grindstone debacle, I guess is what I'll call it. If I reference this in any future videos. But anyway, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about this whole situation, because I've been using AFK Fish Farms for a long time, and many people have too, but with the addition of mending on fishing rods and new enchants being added to the fish roster, it's so easily exploitable, and I would love to see some sort of patch done to quell this problem. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any more suggestions for different videos like this, if you guys like to see more videos like this, then please leave a comment and leave a like on this video. So thank you very much. If you hated the video, you know where the button is, but if you liked it, then please slap that like button, or whatever generic YouTubers say nowadays. And thank you for watching. Like I said, please leave your input in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So thank you. Everybody have a nice night or evening or day or whatever time you're watching this. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.